Ahead on Up with KREM, a win in Washington state against online betting market Kalshi. What local tribes are saying about the crackdown.
Plus, a look at the forecast where temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler, and we're also going to be seeing some calmer winds.
Plus, have you ever asked ChatGPT or Claude a question about your finances? Lots of Americans have, but before you make any money moves based on a chatbot's advice, listen to an expert. Some do's and don'ts ahead. Good morning to everyone out there in the inland Northwest. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones. We want to go ahead and get right on over to the Weather Center with Jenny Power because Jenny, today seems like the first day it finally cools off just a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, Brandon. And it's crazy to think that when we're talking about temperatures, the mid 80s are cool. But compared to all of last week, yes, it is. We're finally getting a break from the 90s. We're looking at 84 degrees this afternoon in Spokane. Plenty of sunshine, and we're also going to be seeing some lighter winds. So pretty decent start here to a new week as well as we move into Monday, as highs will continue to be in the mid 80s. Plenty of sunshine on our future tracker. Conditions are still going to be dry, however, but not quite as gusty as what we were dealing with yesterday. Here's a look at some of those winds. At times it will be a little bit breezy through late afternoon as well as early evening, where we could be seeing gusts around 20 miles per hour. But overall, we're looking at conditions to definitely be improved compared to where we were at yesterday. Moving forward and into tomorrow, our winds are going to calm down even further. A look through our extended forecast this upcoming week, it is going to be mostly dry, which is typical for the end of July and early August. Highs continuing, though, to be closer to normal in the mid 80s. When we could see those temperatures jump back up, though, that's a look in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Jenny. We'll check back in later. And a traffic alert for your commute tomorrow. WashDOT is demolishing the Hanson Road Overpass Bridge in Moses Lake tomorrow. And bad news for drivers: during demolition, there will be a full closure on I-90 for several days. A look at those detours. Eastbound I-90 travelers will need to take Hiawatha Road at exit 169 and use the frontage road to access the south side of I-90. Westbound travelers on I-90 may use the off and on ramps to continue onto I-90. Keep in mind, westbound traffic cannot access the south side of I-90 and must use exit 169 onto Hiawatha Road and turn around. If you're headed that way, be sure to give yourself some extra time. Well, Washington's Attorney General scored an early win in court against the online prediction market Kalshi. A King County judge found that Kalshi likely violated the state's Gambling Act. Kalshi has been operating a gambling platform here in Washington, allowing people to bet money on everything from sports and elections to other real-world events. State officials argue the company has been taking bets in Washington without a gambling license. We talked to a local casino director about the decision.
Be careful in pursuing any online gaming at all in Washington State. It's been illegal for several years. A lot of companies present as legal, and however they are not. So I'd be really careful in who you engage with. I think a lot of folks in the industry feel like Kalshi and others in the CFTC or commodities market have really manipulated the rules to their benefit to offer gambling or gaming rather than true commodities trading.
The ruling is not the final word, but it orders Kalshi to preserve records as the lawsuit moves forward. Well, these days, more Americans are turning to artificial intelligence for everyday questions and for help with their finances. But before you let a chatbot weigh in on your money moves, there are some important do's and don'ts. CBS News has more.
In a recent study looking at Americans' use of generative AI, 66% said they've turned to it for financial advice. If you're thinking about using AI to help manage your money, it's important to follow these guidelines. First, do not share sensitive personal information, including social security numbers, account numbers, tax details, and of course, passwords. These platforms aren't regulated like financial institutions, so your information could be stored or reused in ways you can't control, putting you at risk of fraud or identity theft. That said, AI often provides helpful overviews and general information, operating like a smarter search engine. You can ask AI to explain the difference between a Roth and traditional IRA, how compound interest works, or even to help evaluate 2 different job offers with 2 different benefit packages. But AI can't account for nuance, and it doesn't owe you a fiduciary duty, so it should not replace customized professional financial advice. To make your experience better, look at the URL sources for the information provided. Try to stick to identifiable ones like government sites or large financial company sites rather than someone's blog. When it comes to your finances, let AI help with the homework, but don't let it make the final decision. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Well, happy weekend, my friends. We hope you are taking advantage of all of the free time you've got on your hands in the long summer days to enjoy some fun out on the town. But here's what's up in your first weekend What's Up. Join the cycle celebration today at Mirabeau Park in Spokane Valley. There's 3 different routes for each level of rider: a family-friendly 10-mile ride, a 25-mile adventurous ride, and a 50-mile hills around the valley route. The 50-mile starts at 8 a.m. Next up, the Orchard Crest Classic Car Show is today. They will have a fantastic collection of classic vehicles and a fun-filled day with the community. All right, we've got more here on Up with KREM. So just ahead, Americans are scrolling instead of socializing, and it's affecting your health. From seniors in high school to senior citizens. That story in 10 minutes. But first, we're learning more about what happened at the Longview paper mill the day of its deadly implosion. How the 11 workers killed that day tried to stop the spill.